One of the big things that I see destroying a lot of swings right now is a backswing where the shaft gets too horizontal or too flat, we would call that. And I've seen this since I started coaching, but seemingly it's in my mind, lately, as I'm seeing it in a lot of the lessons that I'm doing, where I'm having to show the player how to get the backswing on a proper plane. And the point of this video is to show you, A, if you go back and the shaft gets too horizontal or flat, that can be a swing destroyer, in that you're going to get a lot of the opposite issues on the way down. Notably, a shaft that's going to want to get too steep, a club head that gets too far outside, all kinds of issues at impact.
I've told a lot of friends, like, hey, you need to get on Eric Cogorno Golf. Like, you have to. Well, my name's Armando Linke from Katy, Texas, just right outside of Houston. My full swing had always got me in trouble. Short game was always good. I would shoot around mid 80s, low 80s on a good day. And as soon as I started getting with JT, I'm talking about like the second or third session, like, so 2.5 months in, some things he was implementing started working right off the bat. With the short game that I had, I started breaking 80 pretty consistently. Joined in May, I think September, I shot a 71. It was like the lowest score I had ever shot. I've told a lot of friends, like, hey, you need to get on Eric Cogorno Golf. Like, you have to. First of all, I was like, the value is just so, where are you going to get that many lessons and be able to learn this much and use all of these other tools to be able to refer back to all of your videos that you've had with all the lessons? Like, you're not going to get that anywhere else.
All right, guys, in today's video, we're talking about a backswing destroyer that I want you to keep out of your swing and what you should be doing instead. Now, when I do the coaching, with our members at Cogorno Golf, most everyone comes in wanting the same outcome, right? We all want to hit the ball solid. We all want to hit the ball high and far. We all want a repeatable golf swing, and oftentimes we see issues, at impact or during the downswing that we want to go in and fix right away, when in fact those issues are a result of earlier things in our swing. And I would say with the online lessons we do, conservatively, man, like over half, I bet, of the sessions that I start with, we're starting with setup and backswing pieces to put them in an easier position to do the things on the way down and through that we all want to do. Now, one of the big things that I see destroying a lot of swings right now is a backswing where the shaft gets too horizontal or too flat, we would call that. And I've seen this since I started coaching, but seemingly it's in my mind, lately, as I'm seeing it in a lot of the lessons that I'm doing, where I'm having to show the player how to get the backswing on a proper plane. And the point of this video is to show you, A, if you go back and the shaft gets too horizontal or flat, that can be a swing destroyer, in that you're going to get a lot of the opposite issues on the way down. Notably, a shaft that's going to want to get too steep, a club head that gets too far outside, all kinds of issues at impact. Now, rather than having that shaft be horizontal, and we're going to show you some examples here, we'd like to have a shaft when you go back that goes on plane. Now, on plane would be defined by the shaft and the butt of the club being pointed roughly at or just inside this ball target line. The ball target line is this club right in between the ball and the target that I have on the ground here. And as you'll see from these examples on the screen, just about every good ball striker, right, especially the best of the best, when they get about halfway back, they have that shaft on plane, right, on or inside that. Now, I laid down a club in line with the ball target line and a club in my toe line to create this sort of sweet spot. And that's what I would call this. I'd call this like a safe zone or a sweet spot, in that during the backswing, you want to be able to get the butt of the club pointed somewhere in this sweet spot circle when you go back. If I'm able to get that set correctly early on the way back, that's going to set things up on the way down. Notably, from there, it's going to be very easy to shallow the shaft, get the club from inside, do the pieces through impact that I want to be able to do. Now, we're going to talk in a moment specifically about the drill that I want you to use, but what I want you to understand with this is really that the lead arm controls the motion. The lead arm controls the motion. Let me show you the bad version. Here's a bad, what I don't want you to do, that's going to get the shaft too horizontal. Bad is shoulder high, arm away, elbow and butt of the club away. So when I do this bad version, as my left shoulder goes up, watch my bicep gets farther away from my body, and the elbow and the butt of the club point away from my body. That would all make the shaft flat and horizontal. Now, good would be the opposite of those. My left shoulder stays down, my arm stays in. Now notice my elbow and the butt of the club point where? More down. So the good version, shoulder down. This left bicep, you see this little distance that it starts away from my body at setup? The idea is that stays the same. My shoulders down, my arms in, my elbow and butt of the club point down towards the ground. That'd be the good version. One more time for the bad. As the shoulder goes high, and this is, you could be doing all of these or any one of them, right, that I want you to check. Shoulder high, arm gets farther. See, this bicep gets farther from my pec. Elbow points away, butt of the club away. I'm gonna get the opposite bad. Good, shoulder down, arm in, elbow and butt of the club point down. So let's just hit one with the feels, and we're gonna talk more specifically about how I'd like you to practice this to train this in. So shoulder down, arm in. I'm gonna really feel my elbow point down towards the ground and the butt of the club point down towards the ground. Yeah, that feels really nice. And when I'm doing that, the sensation that I personally get is that I don't have to work so hard on the way down. Like when I get the first, half of the backswing pieces correct, those other pieces that I want when I start down happen for free. I don't have to think about them at all. Conversely, if I mess up this first part and I get it flat, and I know that because it's been in my swing for a while, I have to work really hard to get those downswing pieces, and you nor I want to do that, right? So left elbow down. I really feel this arm staying the same, not getting closer to my pec, but staying the same distance. That's the sensation I have. A little left shoulder down. This distance stays the same, and the elbow and butt of the club point down. So I feel like the butt of the club points about halfway in between them is the sensation that I get. Shoulder down, arm in, elbow and butt of the club down. And there's another one that feels really, really nice and easy for me to do. Now, while there are a lot of ways to be able to do this and train this, I just want to show you what I would show you if we were working together. I would set this station up in terms of how to get your backswing on plane. Go ahead and put a club down the ball target line and one down the toe line like we have. But what I want you to do is take an alignment rod or driveway marker and hold it on the side of the shaft. Now, if you have a club you don't care about or an old club, you can actually put it right in the grip. But let's just say for this, you hold it on the side of the shaft. Now, this is going to give you a very easy indication and visual of where the shaft actually points. See, it's super easy for me to see, okay, the butt of the club points about halfway in between those two. What do I feel like I'm doing to get there? I feel my shoulder stays down. It's not pushing down, it's just staying down like it started. This bicep and arm is staying in. It's not going in, it's just staying where it started. And my elbow and butt of the club point down. If I do this correct, my glove logo points more straight away from me. That would have the shaft on a more vertical angle. Again, the bad version, shoulder high, arm away, elbow, butt of the club away. See, the glove logo is more up towards the sky. So I just want to get into a sensation of feeling this and feel that connection of my lead bicep and pec staying the same. Now, you can hit some shots in with this, but I would just use it as a visual. I would get that out of there and then do one or two rehearsals and feel the same thing. You might feel like the shaft is quite a bit lighter compared to normal when you do this. Again, the glove logo and club face sort of point straight away from there. So a couple rehearsals, and then I hit with that shoulder down, arm in, elbow and butt of the club down. Yeah, and there's another one. I mean, that just feels very easy. Obviously, that feels good for me too, because like I tend to get the club going flat on the way back, so I know those sensations. So I like those feels a ton. If you're someone who goes too far flat on the way back and you have to work really hard on the way down, the shaft gets steep, all those sort of things, give this one a try. If you have any questions, as always, leave a comment down below. Take advantage of our yearly special for next year. If your backswing's flat, it's not going to change itself, right? You got to change it. We got to be able to identify, hey, that's my issue. How do I work on that? How many reps do I do? That's where we can help you with all that. We'll put that link down in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching.